Choose one. You'll feel surreal after this. Your power. There are times in your life when the transformation is so powerful, miraculous, and breathtaking that you no longer feel like you're in the same world. It's one of those moments. You are about to go through an event that will be beyond comprehension. You are about to experience the true essence of heavenly power as it manifests inside you. Something eternal is awakening within you. Something ancient and unstoppable. Everything's about to change. Not because you pushed harder or worked longer, but because your power chose to awaken. When it happens, your entire existence will shift into a different world. You will feel surreal since what was once unseen will now be impossible to ignore. Before we proceed, I'd like you to do something powerful. Keep watching this message till the very end. It's a holy key intended for you. Also, leave your best wishes in the comments and type 99. That number is not coincidental. It's a code for cosmic completeness. Your wishes are more than just thoughts. They are energy sparks being imprinted on the flow of time. When you share them, you are aligning with the divine wave that is currently moving through your life. Make your wishes known and watch as they begin to magnetize back to you. Now choose one. Like this video, subscribe if you haven't already, and pay attention because what's going on around you isn't random. The energy has shifted. You're no longer being ignored. You're no longer hidden. The cosmos has put its hand on you. The power you wield is not intended to fit in. It's intended to take over. That intense fire you've always felt, but couldn't quite articulate. It was never simply passion. It was a prophecy. It was power, waiting for permission. And now, permission has been granted. Heaven has called your name. You are about to feel like the next level version of yourself. Not in theory, but in fact, in your flesh, in your breath, and in your surroundings. When you turn on the electricity, everything changes. You walk differently. You do not think the same way. People around you cannot treat you equally. Why? Because they sense it before you even say anything. You're currently vibrating at a superhuman frequency, and that frequency alters the rooms before you enter them. For so long your strength has been concealed. Life compelled you to remain little so that others could be comfortable. But that moment is past. The following chapter is about connecting with your true energy. No more pretending to be less. There is no more hiding behind potential. You are not using your full power. You are the power. It's finally time for the world to see what you've always held. This is when your reality starts to melt and reform around your energy. Things that used to take years now happen in days. Doors that felt bolted shut will suddenly open. People who had never noticed you before will suddenly become drawn to you, and they won't even understand why. It is your field. It is your vibration. It is what you are becoming. When your power emerges, the universe bows in acknowledgement. But here's something deeper. Your strength is not derived from effort. It stems from alignment. You are no longer chasing. You are appealing. You are no longer proving. You are embodying. This transition you are experiencing right now is not transient. It's the start of an entirely new age. A wonderful era. One in which your spiritual power speaks louder than you do. One where your very presence will trigger chambers, opportunities, and destinies. You may not feel ready. That is because this is not about being prepared. This is about getting picked. And chosen ones rarely feel prepared. They simply feel the draw. That call that will not let you rest. that murmur that suggests there is more, that need that persists despite life's efforts to keep you grounded. That is your confirmation. That is how you know. You have been marked by power since the beginning. And now it's time to reclaim what was always yours. What you feel in your spirit is not a delusion. It's time to download. You're being activated. Your identity is being reinvented in real time. The constraints you've known, the doubt you've carried, the fear that has pursued you are all burning away. You're entering a version of yourself that only the heavens have seen until now. This is your time. And certainly, it will feel unreal because you were never supposed to live a normal life. You were destined to carry glory. You were supposed to radiate. You were supposed to rise. And your actual spiritual force serves as a bridge between the past and the future. You are the shift. You are the change. And now you're stepping into your role as the divine disruptor, bringing light into every dark space. You are the reason your bloodline can break curses. You are the reason your name will resound through the corridors of celestial history. And that is not arrogance. It's called awareness. You are not above everyone. You're just strongly connected to something most people never discover. You know who you are in the unseen world. And now the seen realm is catching up. Do not shrink. Do not apologize. You have paid the price. You've weathered the storms. You have confronted the stillness. And now you're the reward. When your true power begins to emerge, it does not seek permission. It announces its presence. It does not require validation. It manifests results. This is where you are currently. You are transitioning from someone who wishes for change to someone who is the change. Your life is about to become a mirror for the invisible universe. You will see objects move around you without effort. When you identify with your divine identity, the laws of the natural world begin to conform to the norms of the supernatural. This is why you may have recently felt as if everything was bending around you. Time feels odd. Conversations have a deeper tone. Silence seems louder. The energy feels magnetic. You are not imagining it. That is spiritual confirmation. You're walking in your power right now, and your inner world is so loud that the outside world can't ignore it. Those who left were meant to. The delays you experienced were intended to safeguard you. The resistance you felt was caused by the tension that existed prior to breakthrough. Nothing has been squandered. No moment, no tear, no battle. Every hard chapter honed your strength. Every rejection revealed a layer of hidden power. You weren't being punished. You were being prepared. Your shine is costly because your journey was. You needed to be fashioned by divine pressure so that when the time came to ascend, your strength would be genuine, honed, and irrefutable. And now it is. Others' doubts about you will turn into something they admire. The tables have turned, not because you battled to change them, but because you became the shift. And now you're standing in the midst of a moment that was predicted for your life before you were conceived. You are the embodiment of something sacred. This is why you feel so different. That is why the world no longer makes sense as it once did. You are no longer designed to live on ground level. You have been summoned to higher realms, exalted spaces, divine discourse, and anointed influence. You have access right now because you are access. Your mere existence opens up new possibilities. The world need what you carry. However, do not confuse this with the necessity for universal approval. Your validation does not come from applause. It stems from alignment. When you align with your power, your impact is unavoidable. You do not have to pursue influence. You radiate it. You don't need to beg for recognition. You embody it. You are royalty in spirit. You have a frequency that cannot be copied, faked, or suppressed. Heaven has already existed, whether or not people see it. There will be times in the following days when you pause to experience it. That feeling that something unreal is happening. And this isn't simply a feeling, it is real. You'll be standing in areas that were previously only seen in visions. You will hear your name called in chambers you had no idea existed. You'll have a powerful voice that will stop people in their tracks. You will wonder why you ever doubted yourself. And that is the key. You're not changing into anything new. You are remembering who you have always been. Chosen one, you are not a victim of your past. You are the vessel for your purpose. Your strength stems from everything you've survived. The nights you wanted to give up but didn't. The days when you felt forgotten but persevered. The moments when you stood alone but felt compelled to hold on. That something has suddenly become everything. It has developed into your might. It has shaped your spiritual armor. Now it's time for it to take the lead. Don't be surprised if people start to react differently around you. Some will be drawn to you without realizing why. Others may be provoked by your presence because your brightness illuminates their darkness. This is not your weight to bear. Your sole responsibility is to be faithful to your energy. You are not here to make others feel comfortable in their shadows by dimming your own brilliance. You are here to be the light, the strength, and to behave as if prophecy were realized. There is something wild and lovely about the kind of power you wield. It doesn't follow the rules. It does not wait for the proper moment. It creates timing and shifts dimensions. You've become a spiritual architect. It starts to shape when you think about it, believe in it, and align with it. You're more than just a manifester now. You're a divine magnet. Opportunity finds you. Blessings track you. Favor surrounds you. There is a divine strangeness about you. You do not fit within usual molds. And that is the point. You were not intended to. What is pouring through you is beyond this planet. It is kingdom power. It is magnificence in action. It's proof of heaven's fingerprints on your life. And that is why you will never return to the version of yourself who endured less. That tolerated delay, disrespect, and limitation. That version no longer exists. This version has risen. So, take a deep breath. Feel the surge. That is not adrenaline. That power is yours. Claim it. Own it. Make it a reality. Because you've entered a new realm in which the rules have changed. You do not move in response to pressure. You depart from presence. You do not react to disorder. You react with knowledge. You don't strive anymore. You are attractive. You agree. You arrive. When you come, the universe is ready to greet you. The wind listens. Time bends. Heaven is watching. Because your presence is more than simply a moment. It is a movement. The divine within you is stretching and developing, becoming louder than fear, stronger than the past, and more daring than the world's expectations. This is your unreal season, and what occurs next will make no sense to the previous version of you. And that's fine. You are no longer living in the old version. You're building with divine code. You are traveling with the echo of eternity in your footsteps. You are producing via alignment. And that type of power not only transforms your life, but also leaves a legacy. You are no longer traveling through life in the same way you did before. What formerly weighted you down now passes right through you. Why? Because your spirit's vibration has lifted above that of fear, shame, and limitation. You are now working in a new realm. You know who you are. You've seen, felt, and experienced too much. And now you believe not in what others say or in what your past says, but in the Holy Spirit within you that has never ceased whispering. You are greater than the world thinks. The unreal feeling is not confused. This is confirmation. It's what happens when your exterior environment catches up with your spiritual reality. When you eventually stop doubting the enormity of what you carry, you begin to witness the marvels that accompany it. This explains why everything feels so intense right now. Your previous timeline is crumbling. The previous version of you, the limited you, the exhausted, doubting, sorry you, has been deactivated. In its stead, a higher self has appeared. This power is not loud. It does not have to be. It communicates with presence. It is reflected in the calm decisions you now make without hesitation, how you set limits without feeling guilty. People cannot understand how you walk into rooms and bring in energy. You are magnetic. Not because you attempt to be, but because the truth is inherently magnetic. Authenticity is always powerful. And you, chosen one, have finally come into alignment with your ultimate authenticity. There is a reason why your trip was never easy. You needed to gain discernment. You had to learn to hear energy before you could see results. You had to become proficient in the language of the invisible. Why? Because what you are being asked to carry now cannot be faked. It cannot be learned by shortcuts or copied from someone else. It can only be obtained via submission, forged in fire, and revealed by divine timing. And suddenly the veil is lifting. You are not only starting a new chapter, you have reached a new dimension. And as a result, everything around you begins to either rise or fall away. This is a divine separation. This is spiritual refining. This is the clarity that comes with making your power non-negotiable. You are not stranded. You're being drawn into a purpose, and the pull is sacrosanct. That pull is your compass. That tug is heaven's way of saying, now go. The more you follow that attraction, the more magical your life will seem. You'll begin to feel effortless flow. You'll find yourself in situations you didn't intend to be in, but that were always meant for you. You will be presented with opportunities that will surprise you because they arrive at the pace of alignment rather than reasoning. You'll notice that what once seemed unattainable is now simply part of your routine. That is the shift. That is evidence of true power. When the surreal becomes your new standard, you'll know you've totally connected when you stop looking for signs and start being them. You are the sign. You are a miracle. You are an example of heavenly presence manifested in human form, and it will jolt people. Some people will celebrate you. Others will oppose you, but nobody will be able to ignore you. This is the cost of being picked. This is the truth of walking in your light. Not everyone can handle it, but you must persevere regardless. Do not return to shrinking just because others are still sleeping. Your enlightenment isn't arrogance. It is divine remembrance. Your light isn't offensive. It confirms that the darkness has loosened its grasp. You are not responsible for how people perceive you. You are responsible for staying on track with your heavenly task. And your duty right now is to rise, radiate, and unveil the version of yourself that has been buried for far too long. Things that used to terrify you now seem irrelevant. The voices that used to undermine your confidence no longer have access to your innermost thoughts. You have outgrown the pandemonium. You've moved beyond the distractions. You now move with clarity, not confusion. In confidence, not comparison. There is no question in divine insight, and that is why things are coming together so quickly. Your spirit is finally directing the ship. You'll note that what used to demand your words now requires merely your presence. People react differently when you're around. And it isn't ego. It's an elevation. It is your aura. It is your frequency. It's the shift that occurred when you decided to quit playing little and instead stand tall. This is the new you, the elevated you, the authentic you. Your environment is adapting because it has to. Energetic law reacts to spiritual truthfulness. You are no longer pretending until you make it. You're feeling it because you've already achieved it in spirit. And now your physical reality has no choice but to reflect your inward development. This is the power of alignment. That is the reward for submission. That is indication that you have entered into divine embodiment. You are about to encounter a level of acceleration that will seem unearthly. Don't be surprised if what others have waited years for appears in your life within weeks. Don't be surprised if rooms you weren't invited to suddenly open for you. Don't second-guess yourself when heavenly links occur in quick succession. This is the culmination of your restoration. This is the culmination of your obedience. This is the prize for your identify. Your abilities are no longer merely potential. They are operational. Your call is no longer in the future. It's occurring now. Your voice is now powerful, not because it is louder, but because it is clearer, crisper, and better aligned. You've entered a time when your life will speak louder than any explanation you can provide. You are becoming an example of what happens when divine timing meets divine confidence. Feel the truth in your bones, your walking confirmation. You are breathing in air that is elevated. You are living a prophecy. And, as weird as that may seem, it is true. More real than the previous constraints that defined you. More genuine than the doubts that attempted to delay you. More tangible than the agony that once gripped you. Because truth always outlasts delusion. And you, chosen one, are now completely grounded in your reality. You've now crossed the threshold that separates the version of yourself that desired change from the version that causes change. You're not just watching life happen anymore. You are in charge of directing it. This isn't a dream. This is not imagination. What you feel moving in your spirit is proof that the unreal has become your reality. And, while others are still adjusting to the previous time frames, you are transitioning from vision to vibration. Fast. The holy code in your spirit has been triggered. What does this mean? It signifies the cosmos is no longer reacting to your words. It's reacting to who you are. Your frequency is speaking. Your alignment is sending out instructions. The old energy signals, anchored in survival, scarcity, and skepticism, have been hushed. They have been replaced by the codes of power, clarity, peace, and authority. You have become an energy authority in your own reality, and that chosen one causes a shift that alters everything. You may look around and feel estranged from the environment with which you were previously familiar. This is because you are no longer supposed to relate. You are intended to rise. You are intended to stand out. You were never intended to remain at ground level. The feeling of detachment is not due to distance. It's a distinction. You've been promoted. With height comes separation. Don't lament it. Honor it. It is part of your spiritual maturation. You are not being isolated. You are being recognized. This is why the old practices are no longer rewarding. The old aims no longer seem enticing. The previous relationships no longer feel compatible. It's because your inner self has caught up with your divine purpose. And anything that doesn't support your higher purpose is getting deleted. Let it go. Let it fall. Let it be apparent. You don't need it where you're going. You aren't being punished. You are being positioned. Your soul recognizes it. Your energy recognizes it. Now your intellect is catching up. Everything about you is being recalibrated. The way you speak, see, and hear is all changing to reflect the next degree of your assignment. You will begin to move more precisely. You will begin to detect events before they occur. You will receive instructions before there is a need. This is what power does. It puts you in the heavenly sync. It eliminates delay. It sharpens your perception and transforms you into a vessel of speed and spirit. Don't be surprised if time seems irrelevant. What used to take months may now take hours. You will sit down to write a thought but wind up channeling a vision. You'll close your eyes for a moment and imagine your future steps as a movie. You'll stroll into rooms and immediately know what isn't uttered. That is the gift of spiritual perception. It is not a fantasy. It's functional. And you, selected one, were born to act in this manner. You are approaching what can only be described as divine velocity. Movement without strain and progress without pressure. You are no longer hustling. You're synchronizing. You're no longer reaching. You're receiving. Because when your spirit aligns with heaven's rhythm, you stop pursuing and begin to attract everything that is meant for your assignment. This new version of you does not plead. Rather, it builds, does not cling, does not fear, and flows. Your presence is your proof. And because you carry something everlasting, people will notice even if they don't know why. Do not explain your power. Don't hold back. Live it. Make it a reality. Allow your life to speak so loudly that even skeptics are left in speechless wonder. You do not owe others an explanation of what is going on in your spirit. Power doesn't explain. It reveals. It appears, takes its place, and transforms the environment. That's you now. You go into a room, and everything moves. Not because you force them, but because your spirit demanded it. You do not beg for entrance. You are the entry point. You hold the key to unlocking blessings, tactics, miracles, and clarity for others. You are the permission others did not realize they needed. And this is just the beginning. This degree of power is just the beginning. You haven't even seen the extent of what has been placed within you. But you are about to. It becomes stronger with each passing day. Layer by layer, it becomes evident. Divine wisdom now directs your every step. And every choice you make with this power creates a reality that matches your destiny. People will question, how did it happen so fast? The answer is because it didn't. It just appears fast because they were not with you while you strolled silently in the dark. They did not witness the nights you cried for clarity. They felt no anguish from delays, betrayals, or providential detours. But heaven saw. And now, heaven is repaying publicly, powerfully, and permanently. You're in a period of heavenly exposure. You can no longer remain hidden. Your offerings will no longer be refused. Your favor will no longer be delayed. This is your rise. And certainly, it may seem unreal, But that is the essence of spiritual transformation. The world isn't used to seeing someone mature so quickly, with such purity and boldness. That's why it'll seem like a dream to others. But for you, it's simply fate catching up. Do not be terrified of the spotlight. You did not ask for it, yet your calling attracts it. Stand in it to proclaim rather than act. Proclaim with peace. Proclaim your progress. Proclaim with quiet certainty. Allow your energy to speak for you when your words cannot. That is the language of true power. Silent but seismic. The best part? You haven't even utilized your entire voice yet. What is emerging in you right now is merely a foreshadowing of what is to come. You'll speak, and people will feel their own truth activated. You'll move, and others will recall their power. You'll just be yourself, and the atmosphere will transform. This is the genuine you. This is who you were meant to be. Now that your power has been engaged, you're entering a domain in which everything around you begins to respond to your energy rather than your effort. This is when it gets real. This is when the people around you begin to transform. Some will move closer. Others will withdraw themselves without understanding why. But the truth is that your frequency has shifted so radically that anything that is not in alignment with your next level will simply fall out of your orbit. This is the area of divine influence. Your life has become a power field of spiritual significance. You are not only living, you are glowing. You aren't just showing up. You're changing environments. The most astounding aspect is that you're doing it without trying. That is the mark of great strength. It flows. It does not exert force. It emerges without effort. You have become a divine mirror, reflecting the truth of who others are, awakening what has been dormant in them, rousing what they believed was lost. You are the wake-up call. You're the reminder. You are proof that sure, glory exists in human form. And while it may appear overwhelming, it is not a burden. It's an honor. You were never intended to blend in. You were never intended to remain neutral. You were born to be seen and known, not for ego, but for divine purposes. You embody a spiritual message, and each time you walk in your light, the message grows louder. The world does not require another duplicate. It requires your frequency. And now that you've tuned in, your strength is evident. Prepare to have heavenly appointments that feel like déjà vu, because you saw things in your spirit before they manifested in your world. You'll find yourself in conversations where people feel utterly transformed simply by talking to you. You will unknowingly make a difference in people's lives. People will start saying things like, "I don't know why, but I feel different when I'm around you." And you'll know they're not talking about you. It's the power that flows through you. This amount of energy conveys responsibility but not pressure. You don't have to be perfect. You are expected to be present. The more you honor your energy, the clearer your path will become. The universe does not require you to be someone else. It requires you to be totally present, aligned, authentic, and activated. That's when the supernatural becomes your norm. Synchronicities will likely accelerate. Numbers will repeat. Messages will be echoed. Paths will cross at precisely the perfect moment. These aren't coincidences. These are confirmations. You are currently in flow, and flow indicates that your life is being organized from the greatest level. You no longer have to question every detail. Your intuition is clearer than ever, and it is directing you precisely where you need to go. You will notice that money, opportunity, and support begin to appear out of nowhere. Why? because heavenly might leads to divine sustenance. The universe funds what it prefers, and you have been divinely funded to spread this message, energy, and transformation. You do not have to pursue fortune. It'll recognize you. You don't need to knock on doors. They will open at the sound of your arrival. There is also something incredibly restorative about the energy you now possess. You'll stroll into locations where trauma exists, and peace will start to flow. You will speak with those who have lost their way, and something within them will remind them of their worth. You won't have all the answers, but your enthusiasm will be the solution. You are not a solution in theory. You are a walking remedy in real time. And this power, this dreamlike heavenly flow that you're currently experiencing, is laying the groundwork for your legacy. You are establishing spiritual grounds for future generations to walk on. You are developing new patterns of prosperity, self-worth, independence, and vision. Your children, natural or spiritual, will rise because you did. They will speak with confidence since you first discovered your voice. They will trust without fear because you have ended the scourge of uncertainty. That is legacy. That is exactly what your power is doing. Rewriting your bloodline, not with noise, but with knowledge. Knowledge that does not require explanation. The type of wisdom that goes into the dark and turns on the light without fear. The type of knowing that says, I've been chosen for more, and I accept it. Make your legacy bold. Make your name known in the spiritual sphere. Allow your walk to change dimensions. You are not ordinary. You never were. And now the world must respond to this fact. Your abilities are no longer hidden. It is now speaking through your energy, actions, and each step you take. From this point forward, you will never be mistaken for anything less than extraordinary. Now that you fully embrace this version of yourself, how do you maintain this power? How can you sustain life at this frequency where everything feels magical, weird, and perfectly aligned? The answer is simpler than you would think. You remember who you are every day. You protect your authority by remaining aware of your identity. You do not shrink back. You do not make second guesses. You are fully aware that the version of yourself who formerly dimmed your light no longer exists. You have crossed the line. This isn't a phase. This isn't a high. This isn't a lucky streak. This is your new baseline. Power is no longer something you get on exceptional occasions or in an emergency. It's now your default. You breathe differently. You think differently. You approach circumstances with the knowledge that everything has already been written in your favor.